Hello, hello, and once again we are back live. I hope everyone's doing well. It's good to see you all. I see we've got 5 people watching. Art Blade is here. Good to see you as always, Art. The Bread Ore is here. Big Pete's here. Hi, Pete. Glad you could make it. Hope you guys have all had a good week. Let's see. A couple more just popped in. Philip Metcalf, hello from South Florida. Good to see you, Philip. Jason Hadley, good to see you, Jason. Thanks for stopping. Got a smiley face from Art Blade, very nice. Sci-Fi Nerd 1911, hello. Hope your day is going well. Same to you. My day has been going well. 002 SR or something or other. Good to see you. Cheers, Pete. Mohammed Lavings here. Good to see you. Ed Crawford, hello. Glad to see everyone's here. Thanks for stopping in. JMK, hello. Tanya Bell, nice to see you again. Nice to see you too, Tanya. Thanks for stopping in. Baldrian 22, really enjoyed the last series. Oh, very good. I'm glad you liked it. Kind of sad that it's over with. I don't have anything to go live after our stream tonight, but that's the way it goes. It's a lot faster to put them up than it is to make them. Philip Metcalf says, just finished the Soulbound Saga. Any future sci-fi series? I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to do at least one more book in the Rogue Star series. Probably this summer, but I'm not exactly sure about the future because my sci-fi doesn't sell very well. So Muhammad Laming says you finished the Soulbound Saga, but I really hope this isn't the end of the road for Joran. If I get a new idea, of course, I'll definitely write it, but for now, at the very least, it's the end for him. JMK says, love your prolific writing. Oh, thanks. It's appreciate that. It's always good to hear someone's enjoying my work. 002 says the last series was great. That's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Baldrian 22 was the general that was trying to get the princess killed, or did he just give up? Let me see. I think he might have given up after their conversation in the hallway. Jason Hadley, I drive a lot for work and really appreciate your writings in the audio version of them. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. A lot of people seem to listen to my stuff in the car, which is very interesting. I hope you're driving safely, because when I'm driving, I need to focus. I can't concentrate on anything but the road. Marcus Moses here. Hey guys, good to see you, Marcus. Thanks for stopping in. Baldrian says he didn't sound like a person that would give up that easily. Oh, he may try something in the future, but they had a bit of a problem there at the end, and I'm not exactly sure what happened to him. I didn't even think that much about it, to be honest with you. I guess we could assume he didn't make it out of the attack on the palace. Marcus Smo says, I really love the dwarves. Yeah, they were a lot of fun to write. Jason Hadley, $10 super sticker. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. The Breader says, good evening. I feel so happy to be here. I was eagerly waiting for this live. After I finished the Soulbound Saga, I immediately started the Portal War Saga. I just finished the 4th book. Oh, very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Marcus Smo says, I hope to see more of the other races in the future. I was just wondering. Oh, about the general? Yeah. I honestly kind of forgot about him a little bit. The better shows can only say that my mind is expanding as the moment passes. Oh, that's very good. Tanya Bell asked, what is your favorite series that I've read or that I've written? That I've read, that's a tough one. I've read a lot of really good series that I've written. Probably the Portal Wars. That was a lot of fun to write. But I really like all the series I've written. I have a lot of fun doing it. Artblight says, I think your sci-fi is just as good as your fantasy, but I suspect people seek you out for your fantasy books, and they're obviously not so much into sci-fi. Could have been the other way around too. Yeah, that could be. I suspect the fact that I have so many fantasy books makes it more likely that people find them. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to write some more sci-fi, but for business reasons, it seems like it might be better to focus on fantasy. The Breador says, Otto, a character who at first glance seemed like a criminal or a tyrant, for a person who knows what he's doing to those that oppose him, and even to the innocent, I came to like him. Well, I appreciate that. If you can make somebody who's not got the greatest personality likable, that's usually a pretty good indication that you did something right. So I see Packux is here. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Big Pete says, yes, the lascivious would-be suitor of the princess. I picture him as a Biff Buchanan type. Yeah, I kind of thought of him as like the villain in Beauty and the Beast. I can't remember his name, but the guy that was after the girl and wanted to kill the beast, but for the life of me, I can't think what his name was. Gabriel Battle says, hi, good to see you, Gabriel. Thanks for stopping in. The Bredo says, this makes me wonder if all the villains of the real world were really that bad or if they had their reasons. Subtle connections between the Soulbound Saga and the Portal Wars appear. So, yes. I think the trick is that most villains think they're the hero, even though they're not. At least that's how I try to write them. Zatraxa says, I bet this was asked many times already, but when and where does the Soulbound Saga take place in relation to the Portal War Saga? It takes place after the Portal War Saga on another world in the same universe. So sometime after the end of the Sanguine Scroll, this is when it's taking place time-wise. And of course, it's just another world in the same universe, one that the Arcane Lords visited a long time ago, back when they were still traveling between worlds. Marcus Simone says, Gaston. Yes, that's the guy's name. Thank you. It was driving me nuts not being able to remember that. The Breador says, this universe you created and gave me is a wonderful universe. It's something I didn't deserve, but I needed. My work nights fly by in the blink of an eye. Oh, very good. It was a lot. It's a lot of fun to build. I'll be quite excited when I can share all the ones that are currently licensed out to other publishers. Hopefully, I think 4 years I should have everything back. Knock on wood. I'm pretty sure that's what it is anyway. Marcus Mo says, hey guys, the second season of Vox Machina ended in a fantastic way. Love the cliffhanger. The Breader says, if I had one wish, it would be that at some point at any time, something else would appear, something related to this universe you created. Oh, yeah, I'm working on more books all the time. It's just, it takes a while to get them written, edited, new cover designed, and the audio recorded, but I'll definitely have more, so don't worry. Zatraxa says, on that note, what are the strongest entities in your Portal Wars and Soulbound Saga? Is it the highest ranking demon, angel, arcane lords, gods, or dragons? The strongest entities are the cosmic entities. That would be the creator, the destroyer, and the void. But the creator and the destroyer destroyed each other. So the void is the most powerful, but it's trapped between reality and where it lives. So it can't really affect the world too much unless you punch a hole into reality to let it out, a little bit of it. After that, the demon lords are probably the most powerful, but they're also imprisoned in their hells, so they can't really affect things except through their demons and their followers. Then the archangels are the next most powerful, along with the true dragons. Then probably, I'm not sure who comes next. Arcane lords probably are right up there near the top. Daktari from the Divine Key trilogy is right up there with them. Damien St. Cloud for my Soulbound saga is definitely up there with him. But yeah, there aren't any gods as such. The arcane lords and the demon lords are all worshipped by mortals, but they're not technically gods. So yeah, I'd say that's roughly the highest ranking, or the way I'd rank them at least. Big Pete says, that makes more sense. Baldrian 22, specifically the end of the Portal series was great. Good character building. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Josh Hadley says, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Yep, that's who I meant. Thank you. William Burrow says, I wonder why the villains think they are the hero. Probably because nobody wants to think they're the villain. Zatraxa says, will we get the Fellowship of the Arcane Lords type traveling journal? Probably not. I may revisit them at some point. The Bredor says, the moment when Anna Maria kissed and welcomed her lover into the house was a culminating moment for me. I was deceived in somewhat. This moment I found myself in it. Oh, good. It's always nice when somebody really gets into a story, so I appreciate that. Glad to hear you enjoyed it. Or maybe enjoyed's not the right word, but felt something when you heard it. Mohammed Laving says, the Overmage was kind of underwhelming. I feel like if he didn't underestimate his opponents, he'd be unbeatable in that world. Yeah, but underestimating your opponents is something that a lot of villains do. It's just part of being a villain sometimes, I think. Of course, until Fane turned off the Black Vial, he was pretty much unbeatable. JMK says, have I read any lit RPG? A little bit. I read the first book of Aileron Kong's series. I can't think of the name of it. But that was pretty good. But I never did go back to it. I read a lot of light novels, and some of them are sort of lit RPG. Like the name's escaping me right now, but yeah, I've read a little bit of lit RPG and a lot of light novels, so they're very similar. Bedor says, anger, pain. I never thought that a book could make me feel this way. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I want more. Well, that's good. Always leave them wanting more is a good way to do. Baldrian 22 says, I would think it takes a few months per book. It takes about, let's see, probably 6 to 8 weeks to do the first draft. 2 weeks at the copy editor, a week at the proofreader. And then, of course, while I'm doing all my stuff, I've got somebody working on covers, and Joe's usually Joe can't record the audiobook until I finish the text. But Yeah, 3 books or 3 months of total work time per book is probably pretty close. Plus, however long I need for the audio. So yes. JMK says the leveling up slowly and the struggle is real. Yes. Ed Scud says, is the Squire connected to the Divine Key or the other worlds? Well, only to the extent that the world of the Squire is set in the same universe as all my other books, but it's not anything the Arcane Lords ever visited or anything like that. Marcus Samoa says, will we ever see more Guardian Dragons? Yeah, when the Soul Force saga gets back to me, I get the rights back. The Guardian Dragons play a fairly large part in that, in the later parts of that. So you'll definitely get to see a few more of them. Muhammad Lehman says, did the creator dissipate into ether? No, the creator became his bits and pieces, became the race of angels, and the destroyer became the race of demons, and where their blood mixed became the race of true dragons. So they tend to run the gamut from really good, who are mostly creators, and really evil, like the one in the Soulbound saga, that are almost pure destroyer. So as Atraxa says, do the worshipped entities get additional strength through the worship of their followers? No, but their followers are the main way they can affect the world. So the more followers they have, the more effect they can have on the world. Baldrian 22 says, is there true dragons that have their creator side more dominating than their destructive side? Yes. They run the gamut. One of the ones from the Soul Force saga is almost pure creator, and she's a very good, very kind dragon. Zatrastus says, will you ever write a book where you kill your protagonist early on, and whatever new protagonist you kill him to? I don't know. That's a very George R.R. Martin thing to do, but if it's what the story requires, I mean, that's what I'll do. But it's not something I would plan out or anything. Big Pete says, the Overmage, was he suspended in time before taking over Spariton, or was it more of a purgatory? His soul was trapped in the artifact in the basement of that fortress. So I guess you could call it purgatory or suspended in time. Either. He didn't have a physical body. He just had it was just his soul that was trapped. So he could only affect the immediate area. Packuk says, the moment that I was most touched me was the one at the end of book 3 of the Soul Force saga, when Damien speaks what makes him human. Yeah, that was a good one. I remember writing that. It was pretty sad, and it is amazing. I cry. Oh my, I made you cry, huh? I'm not sure if that's good or not, but I'm glad you had a strong reaction to it anyway. The brother says, I don't even want to imagine if you wanted to write something horror. With your imagination terrifying. Yeah, I don't actually like to write horror. I mean, like psychological horror, especially. I don't like to read it or write it. But a zombie story or something, post-apocalyptic would be fun. I got to play around a little bit with zombies in Children of the Black Ship, so that was pretty fun. William Burrows says, I like how the story follows real life at times. That and has good endings. Oh, good. I'm glad. Glad you like the endings. Sometimes they can be tricky to get right, so. Marcus Samoa says, what do you think of the concept of a gunslinger using the ether? I think that would be cool. I actually have something similar to that in a short story I wrote. I guess that guy's actually more of an alchemist that uses a gun, but yeah, no, I think that'd be a very cool story to write. The sinner says, "Are whole souls outside of the Soulbound saga?" Yes. So the world of the Soulbound saga is the only world where people don't aren't born with their complete soul. It's just one of the quirks of the universe. Only the creator could tell you why, but that's the way it works on that particular world because that's the way I made it up. And who knows, I might decide to use it again on another world somewhere else in the universe, but I'm not planning on it at the moment. So that should be the only world where it happens. Baldrian 22 says, "What arcane lord was the prophet a follower of?" I can't remember all their names off the top of my head, but he would have been a follower of the one from the Celestial Empire that was the Master Alchemist. But I'm drawing a blank on his name at the moment. Zin, I think, something like that. But yeah, that's who he was a follower of. If you like anything related to zombies, something in the universe of I Am Legend would be incredible. Yeah, I saw I Am Legend. That was pretty good. Gabriel Badwolf says, "The dragons in the Dragonspire Chronicle aren't true dragons like the Guardian Dragons. No, they're lesser dragons. Lesser dragons are just they look like dragons, but they're nowhere near as powerful. A guardian dragon could completely reshape a continent, whereas the most powerful lesser dragon, um, like the black dragon from the Sunken Tower, she's really strong, but nothing compared to a guardian dragon." Marcus Smo says, "I like that the dragon chips are difficult to build." Oh yeah, just the size of them makes them hard to build. Plus the alchemy involved to make the gas that lifts them up and all that stuff. Yep, you don't want too many of that sort of thing. So making them hard to build is one way to limit the numbers. Ed's Goods says, "How many of your books and what books are set in the same world, like Divine Key and Portal War, Soulbound?" Well, none of them are in the same world yet. I do plan another series that's going to be set in the Portal Wars world, but they're all in the same universe. So they all have the same archangels, demon lords, the ether and all that stuff. They're just each series generally is set on a different world. The one with the special garden. Yeah, that one. The one on the cover of The Heart of Alchemy. Marcus Mo says, "The Earth Elemental remind me of the Sandman in the Spider-Man comic books." Yeah, yeah. Something like that. JMK says, "Would you like to team up with another author? A marathon of ideas and thoughts?" Not really. I have so many ideas. I don't really need any more. It might be fun to have another author on, like a guest on the stream sometime. I haven't really asked anyone yet if they wanted to, but it's definitely something I'm looking into. So at some point, I hope to bring on a few guest people on the channel. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to say, while I'm thinking of it, I got the Discord set up, just text channels right now, but I posted the link to my server in the description. So if anybody wants to pop over there at some point, I'll check it every day in the morning. So if you want to post something or whatever, that's up and running now. Mohammed Laving says it would be really interesting if you started a podcast. I kind of think of the live stream as my podcast, so I don't really have time for another one. Edgud says, how many of your sagas are in the same universe as the Portal War saga? All of them. All my books are set in the same fictional universe. I like to do it that way because it gives, even the new stuff will have some familiar elements, and you can drop in Easter eggs and stuff. That's always fun, or at least it is for me. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's see. The brother says, I am fascinated by time travel. Have you ever thought, or would you be tempted to write a book related to this subject? Time travel's paradoxes, effects, I think would be very interesting. I hadn't really thought about it. I don't actually like time travel stories all that much, so I probably wouldn't. Baldrian says, Discord, definitely a great place to interact with people. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. To start out with, I just want to stick with text messages and stuff, but maybe at some point I could do some audio, some live audio things if we get enough people interested. They'd have to be short though, maybe just half the length of these, like half an hour of chatting about whatever subject came up. But yeah, I figured it was something to try because I've had some people asking me if I had a Discord, so I do now. Leveling Genius says, thanks for your books. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Thank you for stopping into the stream. It's always great to see a new person pop up on the chat. So very good. Thanks. Yeah, I set on the Discord, I have a channel for books, a channel for anime, a channel for TV and movies, and Q&A. So if I need to add something else, just let me know on there somewhere. Edgud says, that's amazing that all of your books share the same universe. It gives a better understanding of the worlds, and it makes it much more interesting to discover something new. Yes, that's what I thought. It also gives you sort of a base when you're writing. I know who the archangels are, the demon lords are. I don't have to make up new ones for every book. Leveling Genius says, just joined, but I just finished the latest series and I'm predicting a Beastmaster spinoff. That might be interesting, but I don't have anything planned at the moment. Tanya Bell says, have you ever been recognized in public at all? I have not yet anyway, but who knows, maybe one day as the channel continues to grow. Pakuk says, did you already read Dante King? I don't know who that is, so no, I haven't. Big Pete, I'm with you on the time travel thing. Consistency is difficult to keep together there. I do like the continuity of the stories happening in the same universe. Yeah, that was the thing with time travel. You have to decide whether it's the sort of time travel where it affects, the past can be affected or the future can be affected, or not. So yeah, I don't think I'll bother much with time travel. It's really not my cup of tea. JMK says, could you link the channels on YouTube tab? You mean the chat over here? Let's see. I think that should do it. I'm not sure it turned into a link though, so I don't know. It's in the link is in the description anyway, so if you just click on the description, you'll see it. The Breador says something related to vampire culture. I was born in Transylvania. With your imagination, it would be very interesting. In our rural area, you'll find stories about vampires, gypsy, witches, etc. I actually have a few books on vampires in my Aegis of Merlin urban fantasy series. So you might want to check that out. Big Pizza's, yeah. Baldrian 22, have you read the Wheel of Time series? I have. The Wheel of Time was awesome. It is, let's see, right down here, I believe. I got it all in hardcovers right there. Muhammad Laving says, I'm more into multiversal theory. That can be tricky too, as far as consistency goes. Tanya Bell says, did you by chance check out Sleep Token or Bad Omens from last Sunday when we discussed music interests? I didn't. It's been crazy busy. I had to, last Thursday, I had to go see my accountant and all that stuff. So I just haven't really had time to mess around with anything too much. Healing Dark, Sheltering, and don't know what that is. Tanya Bell says the link worked. Oh, good. I'm glad it did. Leveling Genius says Beastmaster 3-part series. Yeah, I don't know about that. I've got a lot of ideas already, so that might not be something I get to right away if I get to it at all. But he's a fun character. Baldrian says, I got them mostly in pocket version. Definitely some good books. And the author that finished the last 3 books did a nice job for sure. Yeah, Brandon Sanderson is an excellent writer. So I'm not, I was very impressed that he could finish Robert's work. He was actually handpicked by his wife to do the last 3 books. So I think it really gave his career a boost working on such a popular franchise. So that was pretty cool. That's also something I wouldn't necessarily want to do, is to try and finish something that popular and famous. I think it would be hard to fill somebody's shoes, that like that. JMK says Brandon Sanderson is great. Yes, he is. Not just his writing, but he seems like a pretty good guy. I don't know if you followed it, but he recently called out Audible for their crappy pay rates. So that was pretty cool that he would do that. Tanya Bell says, I've been reading more King. Do you have a favorite of his works? I assume you mean Stephen King. My favorite Stephen King novel is Eye of the Dragon, I think. That's a fantasy one. And There's another one. I can't think of the name of it. One with the vampires. Salem's Lot. Yes, I really enjoyed Salem's Lot. I like his older stuff a lot better than some of his more recent work. Not sure why. It's not like he's gotten worse. I just had a hard time getting into some of them. But I didn't like all the old stuff either. I couldn't finish it. I think I made it about 150 pages into that and tapped out. JMK says there's a beautiful painting of Jordan laying the dragon banner to Sanderson. Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look it up. Hune Dark says, I love the Soulbound saga. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Baldrin 22. I haven't read a lot of King's work, but I did enjoy the Black Tower books. Yeah, they were good. With those two, I enjoyed some of the earlier ones more than some of the later ones. But yeah, that was a good series. JMK is the first period of Flat. Yes, that's why I liked it. It was a fun story. He's an interesting character. Flag is the walking dude. Did anybody read the author's cut or whatever they call it of what's the name of it? The one with the disease. It's like 200 pages longer than the already like 1,000-page edited version. But I definitely like the edited version better myself. Oh, well, I'm thinking of it, and we got a little lull in the questions. If anybody else is looking for signed paperback or hardcover copies of any of my books, I'm sending out the order for that's for the Kickstarter stuff tomorrow. So you need to email me tonight if you're interested. So Tiny Bell says, I really like Salem's Lot, The Stand. That's the one I was thinking of, The Stand. The Running Man. I haven't read the book, but I did enjoy the movie. And Finders Keepers. I haven't read Finders Keepers either. They really pull you in. Yeah, Salem's Lot was great. The Stand was good. I maybe we'll have to read The Running Man just to see if it's anything like the movie. Owen King says, finish the Portal War saga in a week. What a read. I didn't predict the ending. I thought the book would end with a new arcane lord. Yeah, I decided that having seen what a monster Ahmet Sur turned into, that Otto would go down a different path. He'd already messed up his soul. He didn't want to mess up his body too. Get himself turned into a complete monster. But yeah, I figured that would surprise a lot of people too. So I thought it was a pretty good ending personally. Although, like I said, I am kicking around another idea set about 10 years after the end of the Sanguine Scroll. I'm actually getting a cover made right now for a novella that's set after the Chamber of Eternity that covers up covers the conclusion of the war in Auden. So that should be interesting. Tanya Bell says, I think you'll love The Running Man. It's a shorter read, but no less intense. Oh, very good. I'll definitely have to add it to my TBR list. Of course, my to be read list is about half a mile long at this point, so seems like I'm always adding something to it. I'm currently reading a light novel called My Status as an Assassin Outclasses the Hero. I just finished the first book last night. It was pretty good. The Sinner says, will there be more geomancers in the future? Well, I mean, there are more geomancers in the Soulbound Saga world, but if you mean in any, I don't have any plans for any particular stories about them, but they might pop up for sure. I don't know. Ed Gudd says, is the Black Iron Empire's world the one with Anti-Mithril? No, that's a whole other world altogether. The Black Iron Empire's on the same world as the rest of the Soulbound Saga. It's just a different continent. I hadn't really thought about the Anti-Mithril world. That might be a fun one to write, but sort of a something about a wizard born on that world with so much of stuff that messes with the ether. It might be fun to write something about how they, figure out how to use their magic. Baldrian says, have you read the books of Raymond E. Feast? I have. I read them all. They're on my shelf off screen over there. But yeah, no, I read all of Raymond E. Feast books. They're excellent. I highly recommend them. Let's see. Tanya Bell says, could you repeat the book you finished? I didn't hear the title very well. The title is My Status as an Assassin Clearly Overshadows the Hero. There's 4 books currently in the series. It's very good. Baldrian 22 says, I got them to enjoy, that's for sure. Yeah. I've got, I was just updating my books I've read list, and I'm 10 away right now from 2000. So that's a pretty cool milestone. Excuse me. My voice is starting to go a little bit. Baldrian says, I definitely know about the to be read list being half a mile long. Yeah. It seems like there's always a new book coming out that looks cool that I want to check out. William Barrow says, love and unwelcome journey in the Black Iron Empire. I've almost finished them. Oh, good. I hope we didn't spoil anything for you talking about good point. I didn't think that we might have some new people on that hadn't listened to the Portal War saga. Good call, Artblade. That's my bad for not catching it. Sorry about that, everyone. William Burrow says, no, I didn't spoil anything for him. Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't ruin it for you. That would have sucked. Purchasone Innocent says, will you continue the Portal War saga? I have a vague idea for an 8th book. I haven't started on it or anything yet. And I'm currently, I'm actually taking a break, but I have been working on a trilogy set in Coltsland with the new with a new set of characters set after the war with Odin. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I've got one more book to write in that trilogy, which I'm going to do probably starting in March. So just for anyone that's wondering, my current plan for writing is I'm writing the 12th book in the Aegis of Merlin now, and I'm almost done with that. Then I'm going to write the 3rd book in the new Portal Wars, or I guess Portal Wars World trilogy. And then that'll go off to the editor. And then I think I might write the 5th and final book in the Rogue Star series. Maybe. I might get another idea and completely abandon all of that too. So we'll see. That's great. I loved all of them. Okay, good. Yeah, the idea is kind of hazy, but I at least have sort of a rough idea of what might happen. So I think if I really focus down on it, I could probably get another book in that. So the portal work if they're made of mithril. Yeah, you have to make the portals out of mithril to strengthen the ether enough to make it connect. So yeah, you couldn't make it work with anything other than mithril. So plus nothing else would be strong enough to withstand the amount of magic that was going through it. So let's see. Is anyone watching any good anime at the moment? If you're looking for something to watch, I found a really good one when I was bored the other night. So it's the world's strongest exorcist is reincarnated in another world or something like that. That's a really good. I really enjoy that so far. I think they have 6 episodes out. Fabian says, how do you keep track of every story when you write different storylines? Well, I only write one story at a time, so that helps. But I keep notes. I use a program called Scrivener, and it's got sections on one side for characters and settings, and on the other side you can write down notes, and I copy and paste them from one book to the next, so everything carries over. So that's how I do it. Levelin Genius says, what about Hellforged portals? No, Hellforged Black Iron tends to corrupt the ether, so it wouldn't work for portals. At least those sorts of portals. I suppose you can make a hell portal out of one, but the Sinner says, is Mithril stronger than Hellsword? Yes, Mithril is the strongest metal in my universe. I should say, Mithril and anti-Mithril are the 2 strongest. They're basically the same thing, only mirror images. Baldrian 22 says, I guess the portals between worlds just demands too much magic, even for Arcane Lord to cast without the help of a large amount of Mithril. To make a giant portal, definitely. But an Arcane Lord is strong enough to travel themselves to another world. That's how they make the connection. One of them goes over, or sometimes more than one. The group might go over to build a portal and then connect it to the one back on their world. Purtison Innocent says Blue Lock is good too. Blue Lock. Not sure what that one is. Marcus Mo says, I just finished Gundam Unicorn, one of the best series, many callbacks of the past. Is that the one on Netflix? I think I started that but couldn't get into it. Marcus Mo says, Hell Portal, that is a terrible possibility. Yeah. Leveling Genius says, is the globe similar size to our Earth? In which world? In the Portal Wars, it's big. The Portal Wars world is a little bit bigger, but I think Soulbound Saga is probably about the same. Hewing Dark says, I just finished Chainsaw Man, was pretty cool. Oh, I've got that on my to be watch list, so I'm looking forward to seeing that one. The Sinner says, have you read Age of Adepts? I have not. I hadn't even heard of it. JMK says, could you Damascus the Mithril and Anti-Mithril? No. Mithril is too hard to Damascus. You have to keep it pure to work it. You can use it as a... you can powder it and use it as a a coating for silvers to make silver steel. But I don't believe you could layer it in. It wouldn't bond with steel the way it should, at least using traditional techniques. As I always say, with magic, anything is possible. But I'm pretty sure mithril and anti-mithril would be a bad idea. Probably blow something up. Marcus Samoa says Gundam Unicorn was on Netflix. Yeah, I think that's the one that I think that's the one that I just started to watch and couldn't get into. Fabian says, where would the Black Iron and Normal Empire be located in our world? I would say the Tiberian Empire would be roughly North America and South America. And the Black Iron Empire would be probably Australia or thereabouts. A really big version of Australia as far as location goes. Marcus Simone says, will we see the Dragonspire Chronicles again in the future or in an origin story? I'm not planning on revisiting the Dragonspire Chronicles world. I had that one story in mind when I wrote it, and I haven't even really thought about those characters much since then. Big Pete says, JMK, good question about the Damascus Mithril and Anti-Mithril. Leveling Genius says, awesome to chill out with you, man. Yeah, these are sort of my, it's a relaxing way to hang out with you guys, and I quite enjoy it too. So I'm glad you're having fun. We try to keep things pretty laid back on the stream. Baldrian22 says, I guess it could make the metal useless or brittle if combined together with each other with how they react to the ether. Right. And since you use mithril to strengthen the ether, adding anti-mithril to it would just negate the effect you're trying to create. So Marcus Simone says, any games that you recommend? I'm not a big gamer. The main one I'm playing right now is Diablo, the Diablo one for iPad. But Immortal? No, that can't be it. Diablo something. That's the only game I'm currently playing at the moment. Arblade says, forging those two opposing metals into one sword sounds as bad an idea as trying to forge fire and ice into a sword. Yeah, I just don't think it would be possible. I don't know why anyone would want to do it, because it would negate the main purpose of, both metals, basically. I suppose somebody might want to do it just to see if they could, but yeah. Marcus Simone says, I just gave Tommy's son a game box full of old emulators, and he's loving the old arcade games. Oh, cool. Oh, gave to my son. I gotcha. Yeah, I used to play the old arcade games back when I was a kid. They were a lot of fun. Big Pete says, so if you could bond them together, they would just cancel each other out. Makes more sense. Yeah. Fabian says, you always write about a human or human-like thing as the main character, or did you ever thought about writing a creature? I never really thought about writing a creature. I mostly write either humans or half-elves or something humanoid. Just because it's easier to kind of get into their head, you know. But yeah. I suppose I might, if I did, I might try it with a short story just to see how it went. But I haven't at this point. Okay, guys, we're getting close to the 1 hour mark. So if there's any last minute questions, this would be a good time to post them. Or if you want to try out the Discord, you can post any questions over there and I'll check it out a little bit later. Hugh and Dark says vampire main buddy would be cool. Yeah. Like I said, I've got some, they're not the main characters, but I've got some fairly major vampire characters in my Aegis of Merlin series. So you might want to check that out. Marcus Samo says, thanks, James. Yep. Glad you can make it. Baldrin said, why did the Arcane Lords leave the Soulbound world? Well, they left to go back home after they left their apprentices behind to learn more about it. They didn't just, when they visited a world, they did what they had to look around, did what they wanted to do, and then went back home. They didn't hang out, for a long time. Heartblade says, I think we're about to hit the finish. Thanks for the fun and entertainment. Catch you next Sunday. See you, everyone. Yep, I'm going to call it. So it was awesome to see everybody. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week. So long.